We are talking about a team that was here with us a couple of weeks or with a month or two ago, and they were preparing for a tournament in Singapore. That tournament was to be from the 1st to the 8th of September. And while here in studio, they promised that they were going to give their best, and they were going there nothing short of victory. Time flew very fast. They went to Singapore. They went, they saw, they conquered. In a tournament of 6 teams, they emerged victors, beating the likes of Canada, Singapore twice, because there was Singapore A and there was Singapore. Then, of course, there was Canada, there was Ireland, but by the end of the day, they remained at the top, beating all the teams and making it through, bettering their world ranking from position number 30 to 26 as a way of getting ready for the Commonwealth Games. We are talking about the Kenya national netball team. They were here with us in studio just before they left for Singapore, and they promised to give their best. They're back in studio smiling and happy that not only did they promise, but they also delivered as expected of them. Let's take a minute, welcome the team in studio, and engage them to find out how matters went down in Singapore. We'll start with the farthest, to my right, and we are joined by Immaculate Kabudha, who is the president, Kenya Netball Federation, with us in studio. Always very focused when it comes to matters netball, and had, promised that based on what she had seen, victory was not going to elude them. Here she is, Madam Immaculate Kabudha. Congratulations and welcome back to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know it was tough, but we will be talking about that. But congratulations and
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you.
Next to Madam Immaculate, we have with us Helen Sinoya. Helen was very categorical that they've given their best in training, and as they say, no pain, no gain. But more pain, more gain. We will deliver the trophy and we'll come back victors in the country. Helen, yes. You promised, you delivered.
Yes, that is what we did.
Thank you.
Just exactly.
So you kept your word.
We kept our word.
Congratulations and welcome to the studio as well.
Thank
as
you.
we cross over to my immediate left, we are joined by Irene Anyango. Doesn't talk much, delivers when time comes, but we'll find out why she doesn't talk much, because when it gets to the team, she's always a different player and always very vocal. Irene, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
And congratulations as well.
Thank you so much.
Last but not least, Doreen Akinyi with us here as well. Doreen, among the players who went out there, gave their best, and Doreen and Irene were eventually scouted and spotted while in Singapore, and we'll get to know when they're going back to Singapore, because they will be heading back there shortly. But we will get to know that, and many more later on. Doreen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Karibu sana studio.
Asante. Asante.
Do I say karibu Kenya or karibu sana to the studio? Whichever, but karibu.
We're already old.
Exactly. Karibuni sana and congratulations. Let me start with you, Madam Immaculate. You clearly saw the training that the ladies had in the country, and you are very, very categorical that the team is so focused and determined, and you are not seeing anything short of victory as you headed to Singapore. Briefly tell us, how was it?
The training was, thank you so much for inviting us once again to the studio. There's a difference now between when we were here last time and now. We are excited. We have medals. We have a big trophy after winning the Mixes Nations Cup 2024. When we were going to Singapore, we were almost sure that we are going to make lots of wins, but it was a surprise actually to beat all the teams. You know, it's a game, and with games you cannot predict. But according to the preparation that had been done by the coach, the girls were ready, and they were ready to conquer. So we actually went there, played our matches very well, and even the one match that we lost, we actually beat them in the semis. So when it came now to the finals, it was a very tough game because...
And who is this that beat you?
Singapore. No, it was United Arab Emirates.
Yes.
UAE. Incidentally, they have professional players who come from Europe. So, but that is not an excuse. We could have done better.
In that match?
Yeah, we could have done better, but it was our first opening match. So it happens.
It happens.
Yes.
Helen, as Immaculate, puts it, you lost to UAE, but you beat them when it mattered most. It's like you're warming up, and it was a welcome to the tournament, but it never dampened your spirits. How was it after, losing that game going forward?
Okay, I would first say that we have a competent coach. And in most cases, we use video analysis just to know what we did wrong, where we can improve and all that. So after losing, we had to go sit down again and rewatch the whole match, just to know what we did wrong. And actually, when we were watching, we realized that we were a better team. So the only thing, I don't know what went wrong along the way, because we were stronger than them. So it happens in sports. Yeah, so we lost it, but again, we just came and rewarded ourselves again later.
You picked up and you say
we picked it up.
We are
again.
not looking back.
Sure, sure.
Irene, started off badly, but looks like, as the saying goes in English, a bad start makes a good ending. You picked from your mistakes, and you never lost hope. How was it like in the dressing room when you lost the first game, against UAE, and you had to really pick up yourselves? How was the mood like in the dressing room?
I can remember everyone was very sad. There was no one smiling. I personally, I felt like crying, because we had very high hopes, because we really went there to play and win. And now we play, win the first match, and then lose the second match. And I was like, kumbe, it's not the way we think. Every team came here ready to play, and everyone wanted to win. So I really felt bad, but we have a very competent coach who really motivated us and told us that everything is not lost. We just need to go back to the drawing board, and everything shall be okay. And we really did that.
Interesting, because the key thing normally is reaction, how you react when you go down. Do you remain down, or do you get up and dust yourself very, very quickly in terms of getting to the next match? Apart from the UAE game that you lost, Doreen, which game would you say was the most difficult, and why?
Apart from the UAE, I'd say Singapore was the next hardest team, but we just kicked off from the word go, and we said there's no despairing. Yeah, so we just go the way we start to the end.
Wow. I mean, there was no pressure of fans, because here at home there's always the pressure of fans. Helen, we want another one just like the other one. How was the atmosphere like from a playing point of view when you went into, to play any of these teams? I know against Singapore, the crowd must have been there to push them, but you stood tall. How was the crowd like?
Si lazima kuna kelele hapo ndani kawa wazima. Kwanza wacha wafunge ya kwanza. Utadhani wanangoa holi. So yeah, they had fans, a lot of them. And interestingly, in Singapore, they value netball very much. The hall was full. But sisi tulisema tunachukulia hiyo cheering ni kama sani yetu. When they were cheering Singapore, we said they were cheering Kenya. Wow. Yes, and
so
eventually,
it was psychological.
yes, and eventually, actually, they stopped cheering them because tuliwaosha properly.
A very confident team. I mean, muliamua ya kwamba wasemavu wa Swahili ya kwamba mcheza kwao hutunzwa na hutuzwa.
Yeah.
You said we will act like we are the ones. We are the hosts.
Yes, we acted that way. We took everything from them, including the fans.
Including the fans.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations and well done. Madam Immaculate, for you as the, the president, going with the team and seeing that some of your, your players scouted and are meant to go back to Singapore, that clearly tells you that the standards of the game are slowly but improving here in the country.
Yeah, that goes without saying because this is our first time to have a medal. It is our first time to have such a big win. It was also our first time to be recognized by the world. We actually didn't know they were scouting for our players until now, about 3 weeks ago, when I received an email from the CEO Singapore requesting that they had actually scouted our girls to join their league in February next year. So he was requesting whether they can agree they go back to Singapore. And we had no objection as a board. We were very, very happy because it is also the first time for our girls to be scouted officially. Although we know some have traveled in their own ways, this was the first official position. And they actually sent the agreement. And they have already signed the agreement, which is quite favorable. They'll get air tickets, accommodation, allowances, uniforms, the sporting attire for training and everything. And they also undergo some courses. So this is big, this is good for us. And we want to thank sincerely our government because these players were actually paid their allowances before we left the country. They had everything. They had everything. So it was up to the team to do the other team's justice. So they really appreciated the government gesture. We have a very able PS, Engineer Toom, and our new CS, and they did it so well. So our girls were prepared, they were happy, they were excited, and they had actually trained for months, and that was it. So they had everything.
Madam Immaculate, I mean, to just justify and a true testament of what you're talking about, and thanks to the government, coming out strong. Looking at the way you guys are looking in studio is a clear testament that
yes,
you are a very happy lot. Even in the kitting, very, very beautiful.
This is the government kitting.
Correct.
And we are happy. We are happy. We are very comfortable. Netball, we are comfortable, and we really want to thank our government most sincerely for what they have been doing to us. And by the way, we have not let the government down. We have not. Because we are still ready to go.
Wow.
Yes.
Madam Immaculate, they say to whom much is given, much is expected. Much was given and much was expected, and you delivered, by coming back home.
Yes,
congratulations,
much
and a big thank you, to the government for coming out very strong in terms of supporting the team. And you also, like you rightly put it, did not let the government down. You made sure that Kenya's name was up there by the end of the day. Let me come to you, Irene. Mm-hmm. How does it feel? Let's not even go on how it feels. How was it like when news got to you that you're one of the ladies who was spotted and is expected to go back to Singapore?
I really felt so good, actually. Madam President called me and asked if I would go back, I would go back and play in Singapore, and then I was like, even right now, I can do it right now. And then she told me to just relax and wait so that she could finish with the process, and then she let me know. Mm-hmm. So I was really happy, and I thank God, I thank my team and the government of Kenya. Were it not for the government, I wouldn't have gotten that chance to go back. So as it is, I'm really happy, and I'm looking forward to going there and delivering and doing my best. Yeah. Okay.
That must have been a shock about the excitement, like you rightly put it, hata saizi nitaenda.
Yes.
I know it must have been shocking. Doreen, for you, what do you think you did that made them, say that this is a talent that we would want back here in Singapore?
Honestly, I'm wondering.
Even you don't know.
Yeah, but ni God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think I did my best, yeah, and I delivered, and they saw it.
Doreen, let me stick with you before I cross over to Helen. Now that you've gotten the opportunity, do you feel pressure because you have the key to open up doors for many other players from the country to come, to Singapore, not just Singapore, but across the world, because you played against some very strong teams. You played against Canada, Ireland, you played against United Arab Emirates. Do you feel that there is pressure now to go out there and deliver so that you open doors for many more?
Yeah, there is pressure creases. Being that it's a big opportunity, I have to go and do my best so that I can open more and more opportunities for even other people, as my teammates. Yeah, so I think I will just go there and do extra. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We're wishing you all the best because a lot will be expected of you so that you open up doors for the rest to also come in and join you guys out there. But let me cross over to Helen. Helen, going out there, you worked as a team.
Yeah, sure.
And to deliver the results, you picked up yourselves after losing to UAE. What would you attribute the success to? Would you say the training? Would you say the technical bench? Or would you just say that there is something in this team that clearly is working, and if you continue with the same, sky is not the limit, but the stepping stone to greater heights?
Okay, first of all, I would say training. Hey, training is never easy, I would say. Sometimes you wake up and imagine that you're going to that court again. Hiyo kazi inakwanga hapo si rahisi, by the way. Una sweat mpaka unaweza kamua hivi maji kwa t-shirt. Sababu just because you're looking forward to winning, maybe you're preparing for a win. And it's never easy.
Never.
It's never easy. And again, I would say the technical team, the coaches, the team managers, or the coach and the team manager, we have our able president here. They could encourage us. And I'm so glad that she's a sports scientist. And so her knowledge really helps us when we are out there. And another thing, the kind of unity we had this time round was exceptional. And actually I realized why even, I read the story of, in the Bible, the Tower of Babel. Watu vile waliungana, God akasema, hey, wakiungana hivi, watafanya anything. And it is very true. If God recognizes unity, actually it works. We worked as a unit, we worked as a team, and we won. We attribute everything to unity, to the skills, to the competence of the coaches, the technical team. Hizo zote zimechangia kupata hii trophy.
In the dressing room, Helen, who is the noisemaker?
Maybe they can tell us, because I always feel like our captain, Parin, is the biggest noisemaker.
Do you agree?
Yeah,
Parin.
true.
Akiwa kwa dressing room.
She'll make sure ametoa tension yote.
Kila mtu amechangamka, kila mtu amecheka, kila mtu amedance.
Name it.
Yes.
She leads by example.
Yeah.
Nani, the most, actually she's the cheekiest in the team.
Parin, they didn't say this about you. They didn't say this about you. So please, no, I mean, nothing to talk about. Let's cross over to you, Immaculate. As the president, this tournament improved your rankings from number 30 to number 26. A very, very big leap and positive for Kenya in terms of getting ready for the Commonwealth Games. What next for this team now that, the Singapore tournament is done?
We are now looking forward for the African Cup, which will be held in from 7th December to 15th December. And we have already started training. They are already training, and we are training at Ulin's Complex. And this time we have actually promised one another that we are going to be number one in Africa. Nothing short of that. Because, we have to beat quite a good number of teams which are ahead of us, so that we can now be able to increase in ranking and then we can qualify now, go to the World, and even to the Commonwealth, which are just around the corner. The other thing I would want to mention is that we were really encouraged in Singapore. As we took our flight, we went in 2 batches. The second one, in the plane, our players, especially some of our captain, Pauline, and some other players, they met with the PS, Collective Services, and the Commissioner General. So they came to Singapore, and the PS promised that he would come and visit the girls, which he did. She came to the hotel with the Commissioner General, with Ambassador Shadaria, and they really encouraged our girls, and they promised them to come on a Friday when we were doing the semis. So she was among our great fans. You know, netball being not known so much, they were so excited. So when the girls won the semis, she actually promised them Shoma back at home. Because there was no Shoma in Singapore.
Yeah.
And sure enough, we had a very, very big party when we came back. The party was hosted by our sports PS, Engineer Tum, the PS Corrective Services, Dr. Salome Biko, PS Parliamentary Services, Honorable Lono, and it was a big party, So we want another big party. So come to the Africa Cup, the girls are already psyched. We know they are going to do well. And the other thing I would want to mention is that after a long time, the government was able to give us residential training. That also added to our advantage because they were able to train together, spend the night together, everything together, and that did them a lot. It really energized them. So we are really now anticipating a great win as we now go to Namibia for the Africa Cup, which is also a world ranking Commonwealth qualifier.
Thank you very much, Madam Immaculate. Dangling a carrot, definitely you will get results, and I hope the girls enjoyed, the ladies enjoyed the choma, and well done to the ministry in terms of just inspiring and also giving incentives for the same, and also turning up to cheer the team anytime they were called upon. We wish you all the best. Unfortunately, that's the time we had for today. Thank you very much, Doreen. Thank you very much, Irene. Wishing you all the best as you go out in February to Singapore, and hoping that you can unlock and open up more doors for more to follow through. Helen, as usual, ever smiling and pushing the girls, and I'll find out from Captain. I know she's been mentioned because she's not here, but Helen is amongst them. Thank you very much, Madam Immaculate. We wish you all the best, and congratulations to the team as you continue with your preparations for the African Cup of Nations that's coming up in December. We'll follow through and we'll let Kenyans know what to expect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That has been a discussion with the Kenya Netball team. For now, we're going to a short commercial break. Immediately after that, we'll be going into Know Your Sport segment. And this time round, if handball is your game, then that will be your moment. Short commercial break is up next.